It's been a year since the iPod Touch 5G was released. Since then, a cheaper 16GB version was introduced, and a new redesigned OS was released. Let's see if it's still worth the price. Starting with the design and hardware. The exterior is made of anodized aluminum, the same material used in Apple's MacBook line, which means it's very scratch acceptant. Putting any type of metal next to it will create scratch, so case is recommended. The iTouch is the thinnest and lightest device that runs iOS, measuring at 6.1mm depth and 88g weight. It's a very fragile device. Out of all handheld devices I've held in my hand, this feels the most insecurest. The internal component of this device is identical to the iPhone 4S. UEFI processor with 0.5 GB of RAM. But don't get discouraged because this device handles game like a beast. Since there is only few iOS devices, the developer is able to optimize the game to take full advantage of the hardware. Even though gaming is great, multitasking isn't. Because there is only 0.5 GB of RAM, the device will only be able to hold 2 to 3 apps. iOS 7 shows the thumbnail of the app, but when you click on the app will start reloading. Next, let's move to the most important aspect of a handheld device, which is battery life and screen. One unusual surprise I noticed after upgrading to iOS 7 is that the battery life improved. It's usually about 5 to 6 hours, now it's 6 to 8 hours depending on the usage. And the device takes way less power when it's in sleep. The display features multitask IPS panel running at a resolution of 1136 by 640, measuring at 326 ppi. It's great for watching movies. Apps like Netflix, ABC, and CBS looks great on this device. Next, cameras. The 32 and 64GB unit includes two cameras, a 5MP 1080p front-facing camera and a 1.2MP front-facing camera that shoots 720p. The rear-facing camera is identical to the iPhone 4, and front-facing camera is identical to the iPhone 5. They're both decent. The 32 and 64GB also includes a flash. The 16GB doesn't include a rear-facing camera and the flash. And the 16GB also doesn't have the loop, which I never used. Next, speaker. The speakers are amazing but not loud, so when you're Skyping or FaceTiming, it might be a problem, but you could always use the headphones, which is great. Next, software. The iPod Touch runs iOS 7, which adds a lot of functionality to the device. Swiping up from bottom gives you access to an array of functionality. One of them is AirDrop, so if you have two iOS devices, you will be able to transfer content using Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. Swiping down from the top gives you access to notification. The OS is much improved. It gives you 2/3 of the functionality that you would get in an Android device, but there is no customization, so even if you jailbreak it, you will not get the same function as you would get in Android. You will never be able to install a new ROM. If you like iOS, then it's great, but if you don't, it isn't the device for you. But one feature that especially made me buy this device is App Store. One game that I especially like, it's called RC Plane 2. The game is not in Android. If you like iOS, I highly recommend the iPod Touch. Thanks for watching.